Just recorded a video, so here I am again, still in the car. Actually on my way to a gun shop, looking to pick up maybe a couple things, see what deals we can find. But I want to talk about gatekeeping. And I went into a gun shop here local to me a couple days ago, and it's a nice shop. They actually just got done renovating it. They got some really nice stuff in there. And I was talking with one of the employees, and I got this superiority vibe because he had like a almost $1,000 lower on his build, and that's like lowers he likes to work with, is what he's saying. And I was telling him, like, yeah, I'm not looking to spend that much on a lower. I'm looking to get into like an Anderson, because the stuff I'm building is like rack grade fighting guns. So I just need the lower to be in spec, and I don't need to spend an arm and a leg on it, because I'm not building anything precision or anything like that where the lower is going to be put through that much extra abuse beyond what a good service rifle should be able to take. And I don't need the utmost in precision fit, because I'm not building a precision gun. Now, when I am planning on doing a project like that, when I do that, yeah, I'm going to spend a little bit more on the lower, get something a little bit nicer, a little bit tighter tolerances, yeah. But it got me thinking, and I was thinking about some of the other shops I've been in, shops I've worked at, people I've had interactions with, and the gatekeeping, it's got to stop. This is just utter stupidity. And I'll explain kind of why I'm saying that. Most people don't need a gun that is Gucci'd out. Like, good example, I was watching a video from Kit Padger the other night. He was talking about Sons of Liberty Gun Works. And if you know anything about them, their guns are not inexpensive. However, they are one of the only more expensive guns on the market that I've seen and had a little bit of chance to mess with. I haven't shot it, but had a chance to like kind of inspect them and look them over, that I genuinely think is worth the asking price. And one of the reasons for that is because their attention to detail and making sure that things are to the mil spec is amazing. And what that means is the gun is going to be hard use. It's kind of like the BCMs. A lot of people know them as well. Same kind of thing. Hard use known guns. And what Daniel Defense really used to be. And the reason I say used to be is because I'm looking at some of the prices for some of their guns. And it feels like it's just inflated because of the name. And I don't like paying for names, so that's a whole other topic. I want to pay for actual quality. And so, yes, a PSA is not going to be as good as that gun. Even the Saberline's going to come a lot closer, but it's still not going to be as good as that gun. Nor does it need to be. I own a PSA build. I own one of their AKs. I've owned two now, so I'm on the second one. And I've built a lot of PSA guns. Me and my guys have shot a lot through PSA guns, and not like just a lot through one gun. It's 8 or 9 PSA builds at this point, and I've been extremely impressed and happy with all of them. I trust my life to them. If I had the extra funds, I would buy a Sons of Liberty Gunworks gun, because I know it's going to be that next level up in overall durability that I'm looking for. But there's other guns that, to be honest, I don't see it. I don't see the value in $4,000 5.56 guns. To be frank, I don't see the value in a $4,000 308 gun either. So, yeah, even with handguns, there's a point of diminishing returns on everything. So just because you have spent a lot of money on a gun doesn't make it necessarily better than anybody else's. It also doesn't mean you're a better shooter or you know more than anybody else. So stop with the gatekeeping and the pettiness. Now, what I will say too is don't get offended when people are telling you that your gun is cheap. A cheap gun is a cheap gun. Like Taurus, perfect example. When I sold guns, if people were looking for a cheap gun, I usually would start with the Tauruses and go into like a Smith & Wesson SD9, something like that, kind of moving up the price spectrum, or used Glocks, whatever, depending on what we had in the shop. And what I would always tell people with the Taurus is if you're going to buy it, buy at least 250 rounds of ammunition, just round ball, 140 grain, 115 grain, whatever. Take it out, shoot it. Shoot it a lot. Because, and I know 250 rounds is not a lot, but that's just like the starting. I was like, you can at least start with this much. I bought a Taurus off of a dude years ago, gave it to a friend as a present. We graduated fire, so as a graduation present, I gave him his first handgun. That was that. The reason I gave him that was because I had shot it enough. I knew it was going to work for him. But what I've always told him, what I've always told everybody, is that gun's not as good as a Glock. It's not as good as the M&Ps. It's not even as good as the SIGs and other guns like that. The CZs, like even a dagger is probably better than those, but I have no experience with those. But anyways, if you're going to get a cheap gun, you got to be willing to put the ammunition into it to make sure it's a good gun and it's going to be reliable. Because one of the things you're paying for with the more expensive guns in like that Glock range and the M&P, if y'all know, again, like I said in my other video, I'm an M&P guy. One of the things you're paying for is quality control. So they're taking the time before that gun leaves the store or leaves the factory to check it. So the probability of getting a dud or a lemon goes way down. That being said, there is a point where it's kind of ridiculous when you're spending too much on a gun for a defensive gun. And I'm not talking about like the super high-end 2011s and stuff like that, because if you've actually handled those and looked at them, it's the same thing. You're paying for more hand fit, you're paying for better quality parts, but in a lot of Gucci guns, like Gucci Glocks and even the Gucci M&Ps and stuff, there is no real increase for the money you're paying. And y'all can disagree, I don't really care. It's my channel, my opinion. So just keep that in mind. Just because you spend a lot on it doesn't mean that it's that good. And be real, guys. If you spend a lot on it and it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Get it fixed, send it back, whatever. But don't be holding on to stuff, touting it as the best thing because you spent a lot of money on it. You can't have your pride attached to the dollar amount you spent on a gun. Your life's got to be able to be bet on it. That's what matters. So, yeah. That's my little rant. Peace, guys. I'll put some more videos out soon.